It starts with yourself, man. You got to start diving into those things that you are afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel good. It's going to be a false reality.
Nobody's born confident. It's something you have to earn. There's no trick to becoming confident. You need to be able to display it, but also back it up. It's a thin line between confidence and arrogance. I'm sure you know people on both sides of that line. Just like them, you can choose to be on either side. Friedrich Nietzsche said that you should dress like the man you're pretending to be. So who do you want to pretend to be? How would that person dress and act? Would you have more confidence in a tuxedo or a Nike tracksuit? The voice in your head that tells you you aren't good enough, your job is cringeworthy, your car gives scrap metal a bad name, might seem like your enemy, but if you shift your perspective, it will be your greatest friend. In my last video, I said that an insult is far more valuable than a compliment, and I stand by that. Receiving a compliment might make you feel better, but your feelings aren't what make you confident. How many times have you brushed off a compliment and assumed that they're just being overly generous? How long did it actually make you feel better? But if someone insults you, and they're right, it hurts. When I say they're right, simply I mean that they insult something which you're already conscious of. When they say the same things as the voice in your head. But why is that more valuable if it makes you feel depressed? Because it tells you exactly what you need to change to improve, in a way that a compliment never can. Would you rather feel better or be better? If Tiger Woods played golf competitions only against amateurs, I'm sure he would feel like an excellent golfer. But for him to actually be an excellent golfer takes decades of practice and competition against players of his caliber. In the same way that you might feel good about yourself if you're flooded with Instagram likes and messages, but for you to be content, you have to believe it. To have conviction that even though today was great, tomorrow will be even better. If your life is good now, maybe it can be exceptional in a year. If you're at rock bottom and you feel like your life has never been worse, I've got good news for you. The only way is up. You can decide what you want your life to be. If you don't already have it, find a group of friends that can insult you without hurting your feelings, and that you can insult without hurting their feelings. I guarantee you that every time you work on something you feel self-conscious about and turn it into something you're proud of, your confidence will increase drastically. But that's up to you. People aren't going to change your life for you, no matter how good they are. Trust me, they have their own problems and are fighting battles that you can't even imagine. The human experience is a unique one. Never have we been so safe and so free, yet so depressed and struggled so much. When the environment is largely so safe, the only thing that remains to defeat is yourself. To beat your own anxiety, you need to be confident of your outcome. But let me be clear, when I say beat your anxiety, I'm not saying that you should aim to be rid of it. Anxiety is a part of the human experience, and a part of you. Slavoj Žižek, a well-known philosopher, once said that the only emotion that doesn't deceive is anxiety. All other emotions are fake. You can interpret this in many different ways. Or maybe you disagree with the statement. You think that happiness or some other emotion is real, or that anxiety is also deceiving. The truth, unfortunately, is that in philosophy there are often no right answers. Philosophy is sometimes called the science of thought, but it doesn't always follow scientific principles. It's an open discussion more than anything. Anyone can offer comments and explore ideas about the human experience. Whether anxiety deceives or not, it offers immense value. Maybe more so to our ancestors, but even today we can learn to use it like any other tool. I always like to say that anxiety, and more broadly fear, tells you where the line is. It's a warning that you're out of your depth. If you're a chess grandmaster and find yourself at a chess convention, you're probably going to feel quite confident. But put the same guy at a sporting event and he might feel out of place and anxious. The point being that to maximise confidence and minimise anxiety, you should talk about things you're knowledgeable about, and go to places where people share your passion. Whether it's a stranger in a bar, a long-time friend, or someone within the same niche, people will appreciate your passion and might even share theirs. Or perhaps there's a circumstance in which you're forced to speak on a topic that you don't understand. If we have already gathered that to speak confidently you need to have knowledge on the topic, that only leaves one way to gain confidence. So what's the best way to learn? You find someone who is already knowledgeable and ask them. One of the best things that you can do to improve on anything is to speak to people smarter than you and play against people that are better than you. If you can't find someone who knows enough to meaningfully inform you, the internet and YouTube are amazing places. Just about anything that you want to know has been explained there. So now you know how to gain confidence on a specific topic, sport or game, but how does that help you display confidence in day-to-day interactions? How does it help you talk to women? The answer is that I've already told you. Being confident is just knowing where the lines are, talking about something you like to talk about and are confident talking about. When you feel out of your depth, people will respect the honesty of you asking questions rather than pretending to follow along. For the most part, they will enjoy telling you everything they know. Confidence is like a psychological muscle. If you train it, then it will get stronger. If you struggle to talk to strangers, you just need to practice. You'll be surprised by just how much a complete stranger will tell you if you ask a few questions in a non-intrusive way. But don't make the mistake of rambling on to someone who is showing clear signs of disinterest. The cashier at your local shop may very well be interested in your golf game, but more than likely they're just waiting for you to stop talking so they can go on with their day. Being able to gauge someone's interest isn't easy, especially if you don't know them. One simple rule to follow is to move on if they don't ask any questions. Maybe they would be happy to just have a conversation if it was a different topic. You can also just ask them what they enjoy talking about, what they enjoy, what they're passionate about. Asking someone their favourite dessert in a gym is probably a mistake, as opposed to asking what their gym routine or split is. In the same way, if you're at a bar or music festival, asking someone what music they enjoy is probably a good way to open a conversation. Another trick that you can keep in mind is something that salesmen have utilised for decades: the Ford method. The Ford method is an acronym. F meaning family, O meaning occupation or work, R meaning recreation like their hobbies, and finally D meaning dreams. Using this method is as easy as following step 1, F, step 2, O, step 3, R, and step 4, D. So in a conversation you might say, "Oh, your name's George? I've got a cousin called George. Do you have many cousins?" Talking about their family will put them at ease and is a natural conversation to have. Everyone has a family and most people care greatly for them. Next you ask about their occupation. What do they do for work? Do they enjoy it? This then naturally leads into recreation and what they like to do outside of work, as well as their dreams. Do they want to stay in their current job, or do they have aspirations to achieve another career? Having a conversation with someone really is that easy. If you ever wondered about how door-to-door salesmen used to make six-figure salaries in the 80s and the 90s, that's how. When someone feels comfortable enough to talk to you about their deepest desires and dreams that maybe they hadn't even realised themselves, they're very vulnerable to being upsold or outright scammed. I'm not telling you this so that then you can go out and take advantage of the psychology of strangers, but instead so that you can hopefully shield yourself from their tactics and use them to open friendly conversations with people. Remember that to be confident is to be dangerous but also stable, like a knight with a sword that stays sheathed, or a martial artist that helps a grandmother cross the street safely. If you're dangerous to anyone who comes close to you, and you're a tyrant, no one's going to respect you. Even in the animal kingdom, you can see just how quickly a tyrant will be turned on, even by his seemingly most loyal supporters. Arrogance is an exceptionally undesirable trait. To walk around like you run the world with nothing to back it up besides some money in your pocket and a few thousand Instagram followers. Not to mention if you make the mistake of stepping up to someone who actually is everything that you pretend to be. You won't even know what hit you as your entire worldview shatters in seconds, which is actually the best possible outcome for someone who's arrogant. Not because it feels like deserved justice, but because it's an experience that you are forced to learn from. Some people might blame the world and say, "I was acting perfectly and having fun. He attacked me for no reason." A piece of advice: any time that you find yourself blaming the world for your problems, or that everyone else is wrong and you're the only one that understands or is right, it's probably not the world that's wrong. Always look inward and ask what you could have done differently before you look to blame something external. Keep in mind that people around you who never take accountability for their actions are likely not good people to spend time with. Even in a case that you are undoubtedly in the right, you should still first ask if you could have acted better. Self-reflection is integral to growth. A few weeks ago I was driving. I joined a roundabout, positioned myself and indicated accurately, but another car pulled out on me, and I had to swerve to avoid the crash that probably would have written off both cars. The way I describe it, it's natural to blame the other driver. Without any doubt, the other driver was at fault. But did I act perfectly? Probably not. Perfect is impossible, if not close to impossible, to achieve. So what could I have done better? I was watching the car as it approached the roundabout and saw it wasn't slowing down. It's possible that if I honked the horn, the driver would have realised the mistake and stopped. It's also possible that I could have stopped when I realised the car wasn't stopping itself, which, although it's unsafe to stop on a roundabout, it would have potentially prevented a crash as long as no cars were behind me. I don't know, and will never be able to know for sure if one of these other options would have been better. Luckily, I'm a confident driver and was able to avoid the collision. But avoiding collision is just about as low as the bar can get. Safety's the priority. The point is that even in a situation where I acted near perfectly and prevented any damage or injury, my first thoughts were how I could have acted better. This is the type of thinking that you need to train yourself to have in every interaction and every situation that you find yourself in. Find a way to improve even beyond near perfect, and you can achieve everything that you want in life. Remember that being confident in one aspect also doesn't make you confident in everything. Being a confident driver in a car does not correlate to being able to ride a unicycle. The same way that Cristiano Ronaldo might be a great diver but will be out of his depth in a Formula 1 race. Gaining confidence takes time. Don't be afraid to put work in now without seeing instant results. I hope you achieve everything that you want from life. But only 1% of people can be part of the 1%. Hard work, commitment, and most importantly, time is what separates the few from the many. Thank you for watching.